Hello, and welcome to Spirit Island Saturdays, where we play Spirit Island on Saturday. I am your host, Logic Dolphin, here with... Oh, that's right, I'm just by myself today. There's no one else here, it's just me. Just me. Handelabra believes in civil rights for everyone and in being as inclusive as possible, so any comments or activity actively working against those goals are not welcome and will not be tolerated. You can follow us at Handelabra Games on Twitch and Handelabra on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. You can follow me personally at Logic Dolphin on Twitch, Twitter, Discord, YouTube, pretty much any avenue. Sentinels of the Multiverse, Bottom of the Ninth, One Deck Dungeon, Aeon's End, and Spirit Island are all available on Steam, iOS, and Android devices, and One Deck Dungeon is also available on Switch. And you can find more information on those games at Handelabra.com. Is it Saturday? Are you sure? It's Sunday in some parts of the world, isn't it? Australia, maybe? I don't know. It's impossible to tell. Right. It's just me. So I wasn't here last week because I had a wedding to go to for a high school friend. And then on Monday, I decided to play Spirit Island since I missed Saturday's stream and I didn't get to play it with anyone. And now here I am on Saturday by myself. Well, John is busy, Jeff Dugan is busy, and Seamus, I think, is still ill. At least I assume he is. He hasn't said anything since he canceled yesterday's stream, so it's just me holding up the fort here, all by myself. All by myself. Right. So, what are we going to do today? Well, one thought I have is that I do a 4-player game to make it, you know, big and extravagant. Or a player game that takes, what, 4 hours? What's the worst that can happen? I lose? So I might go quick play. 4 players. 8 to 10. Let's see what we get. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. We have France with Gardiel's heart. No, we lost already. Well, that ended quickly. They should not let this happen. So the major problem here. Actually, we might be able to set it, the inner land, differently. Major problem is the stage 2 escalation. After exploring on each board, pick a land of the shown terrain. If it has buildings, add blight, otherwise add a town. The major problem is that... Oh, well, I clicked out of that. Major problem is that on west, the inland is... Let me double check the scenario. It says with 4 players, like, do it in this land, but this is not the standard board. So I wonder if I have a choice or it has to be land 7. I know with 1 or 2 players it's land 7. West 7 is the only wetland, so if they do a stage 2 wetland explorer, then they put a town in there and we lose. And northwest 7 is not the only wetland, at least. Northwest 4 is the only jungle. That's the only one, isn't it? The only one with that problem. So don't ever play west with France and guard the Owl's Heart, because you lose. You just lose. Unless we can choose what the inner land is. I don't know if that's how that works or not, but we do have to be mindful of that. The other things to note with France 1, after exploring into a land with no buildings, add an explorer there. France 2, we had the Slave Rebellion event, which will first appear on turn 4. And after invaders build on a land with 2 explorers or more, replace all but 1 explorer there with an equal number of towns. So that couples with the frontier explorers, so they actually get more buildings. But we do have the Slave Rebellion, which is basically a net positive. And then France 3, during setup on each board, add a town to the highest numbered land with towns and add a town to land 1. Well, that doesn't actually matter at all, because with Guard the Owl's Heart, after all their setup, remove all towns. So that's fine. But do we have a say as to whether West 7 is the inland or not? That is unclear. So we have Fangs, we have Bringer, we have River, we have Ocean. So the first question here is about Fangs. In Fangs setup rules, put 2 presents on your starting board. Nope, sorry, that's not Fangs. Fangs. Put 1 presence and a beast on your starting board in the highest numbered jungle. Put 1 presence in a land of your choice with beasts anywhere on the island. And that's really powerful. For instance, my presence is here to start with. That's the highest numbered jungle on Northeast 5, or Northeast. But I can put my other presence anywhere else where there's a beast. West 4, West 10, and that's it. And also Northeast 9, but feels like going over here would be prudent. Which is Ocean's board? This board? West 4 gives slightly better coverage of that. West 10 is already like... Bringer has good visibility to that. It give us more better visibility to East 8 and East 7 than River currently has, but I guess we're going West 4. And then this is Ocean's setup, and Ocean's setup says, put 2 presents on your starting board, 1 in the ocean and 1 in a coastal land of your choice. And it's open season where we would want to go, I guess. Fang's got a new haircut. Thanks, you look so different today. All right, so probably going Northwest 1 is better. Sure. Mountains Explorer. So they're not doing terrible sands, but they are doing mountains, which is a lot of innerland visibility immediately. Probably would have been better if they had done jungles, TBH. Because that's a lot of explorers that we're getting here. I guess we're not... Right, this is the setup, so it's not extra explorers yet. Okay, so the innerlands are these lands. And that's actually a lot better. Okay. Sort of. They explored mountains. You notice that 3 of these are mountains. But it does mean we don't insta-lose to escalation because there are a number of mountains. The most restricted is West. West 6 and West 10 are the only mountains on that board. East has a number of wetlands. Northeast has, I guess, only 2 mountains as well. Northwest has 3 mountains though, so it's not as bad as I thought, thankfully. We didn't have to do West 7 as our inland land. Right, so with Guard the Owl's Heart, we get an extra presence, and we get 2 extra cards at the start of the game. And it's going to be especially important that we prevent or otherwise deal with these immediate builds. We don't immediately lose, because anytime after turn 1 there is a building in an inner land is when we lose. So if we can vacate these explorers and prevent the build, that's fine. Otherwise, if they build, if we can get rid of the town afterwards, that's fine. So Fangs is most equipped to stop a build just by playing Prey on the Builders. He could also just push all the buildings out with Terrifying Chase. You get overwhelmed whenever you play more than one spirit. And I'm juggling 4! All by myself. Right, so we can prevent a build with Prey or push things with Terrifying Chase. We could push things with Wash Away. Obviously there's going to be 3 towns in West 6 right now. Wash Away would just deal with that entirely. We can't do that fast anyway. It's possibly going to be a combination of Prey and Terrifying Chase that deals with the 2 other lands. Ocean can't really do anything because Ocean can't actually go into West 9. The special rule says, if this is illegal, as for Ocean's Hungry Grasp, add the presence in the nearest legal land on that board. The nearest legal land is going to be Northwest 1 or Northwest 2. Those are both range 2. Do we want to do extra card plays for Fangs, the Migrant P route, or do I do the Logic Dolphin route, which is tokens? Or not tokens, elements. Like, if I do the animal this turn, or the animal here and then plant next turn, I possibly get to do Raging Hunt with damage. Which could potentially be good in Northwest 9. Well, there's not going to be 2 beasts in there, though. I like the elements, because it gives me more freedom on what cards I can take, I feel like. Especially because the extra powers I'm getting, I have no say in what elements they have. River is almost certainly card plays, unless I decide I want to have extra innate energy, because if I do the usual double presence growth, I can get to 3 card plays on turn 1. And those 3 cards would end up being Boon of Vigor, River's Bounty, and Wash Away, most likely. But it does give me massive flooding with damage and push 3. And this Sacred Site is range 1 from all of those mountains. Hey, Frenzy. Yeah, I think 3 card plays is pretty nice. Unfortunately, I'm gonna get a double Sacred Site there, so it's a bit of a waste. Ocean. Ocean motion. Ocean without innate energy, although most likely you do this growth to get into more boards, so you're in more oceans, so you do have a +1 energy there. You could also get to 3 card plays. None of the mountains are coastal, though, on thematic. So that's not going to help. Like, I can't do Call of the Deeps to great effect. I could, like, lure these 2 explorers up, but they're not building there. It's kind of weird, because I guess with thematic, you actually do start with explorers on the board. Which sort of makes sense. Like, Grasping Tide is the defend card. It's also not good for next turn, so we don't really need many card plays. Like, I have Swallow the Land Dwellers and Tidal Boon that are the most effective this turn. And if I play those 2 cards, and I have an innate water, I get a city drown. But I'm not in a land with a city right now, is the problem. Because I didn't grow into Northwest 2. There's also no other towns on the board, especially coastal towns, so like a lot of these powers are just not doing anything. So I feel like we just go up energy track. And if I get 2 really good cards, I would probably want to then do card plays track to play them both, but it's doubtful. Actually, can I? Wasn't that? Oh no, sorry. I thought Northwest 2 was range 2, but this is not the inner land. This is the inner land. Northwest 2 is range 3. Yeah, okay. I guess like I originally said I could grow Northwest 2, and that would have been a land with a city, but I can't do that. Bringer, bringer, bringer. Now, because of the extra growth, I feel like 3 card plays is actually slightly more viable than it normally is. So if I wanted to do like the usual Call in Midnight Streams with a lot of Dahan approach, there's a lot of Dahan on the east. But those are generally not lands, like they're not mountains. Northeast 7 is the closest to being viable for that. Can I like get the thing? No, I can't get the thing. What's the keyboard shortcut for that? I guess I can't do the spirit reveal thing. I forget what it's called. Spirit focus? No. Forget what it's called, but there's 3 Dahan in there, right? Could gather 2 and do the thing, and I would do it with 5 Dahan. I'd have to grow into there, but this growth puts me at range 4. Which is a question of like, do I want more energy or not? Or elements or something? Feels like it's rare for a bringer to actually ever get to 3-card plays, so I feel like I want to do that just because it's different. Paralyzing Fright goes to Fangs. Rain of Blood goes to Fangs. That's not bringer. Blazing Renewal goes to River. Elusive Ambushes goes to River. That's a card for River. Indomitable Claim goes to Ocean. Oh boy, it's over. Drift down to Ocean. Vigor of the Breaking Dawn to Bringer. Song of Sanctity to Bringer. And now we start the game. This is the button I wanted. I wanted to do this to see the Dawn. There's 3 Dawn. It apparently doesn't appear until after setup. Weird. Seems like a bug, Kappa. Isn't there normally a lot of towns on the sands and that's why they're danger sands? I guess that's why that's like there's nothing there though right now. So actually it seems fine. The sands there are fine. Absolutely fine. Okay. So yeah, the situation's not as dire as it might seem because we do have a lot of pushing and stuff with River and Fangs. If we can protect as many of the mountains as possible though, that'd be nice, because like not only do we want to clear the inner lands, but we also want to probably isolate it, so get rid of everything adjacent to it as well. So like Northwest 8 and Northeast 7 and East 6 if we can also deal with, but that's like 3 extra lands I need to solve. These guys, I guess, are a bit more isolated. Dealing with them would be nice, but that's not ideal. There's so many mountains, jeez. So usually what I do with Fangs is middle tooth growth options, except if I really want energy. And there could be an argument that Paralyzing Fright could be really good. But 1, it needs a Sacred Site. And 2, it does stop builds, but even if I stop the builds, there's still stuff happening in those lands. Like we could let Northeast 6 Ravage and take a Blight. But it was still Blight. Which is fine, there's 9 Blight in the card. Ocean with Indomitable Claim. That one's interesting. Potentially claiming into Northeast 7 is pretty good. But for next turn. This is range 1, right? So if I next turn do presence in coastal land and push presence and all that, I can grow into Northeast 3. And then Indomitable Claim into Northeast 7. And if that was going to be my target for Call on Midnight Streams, we're gonna have 5 Dahan in there. Right, this gathers 2. So it feels like that land is done. Where did those Mage's powers come from? It's from Guard the Isle's Heart. Setup changes. After all the setup, remove all towns. In each inner land, add a presence and explorer from the player starting on that board. Each spirit starts with 2 additional power cards by drawing a single card from each of the 2 power decks. So John generally considers this to be negative difficulty, but it's actually difficulty 0. And it's considered easier just because you start with 2 extra powers and an extra growth. But you do have this major restriction where anytime there's a town in the inner land after turn 1, you die. But getting rid of all the buildings on the board except for the cities, getting rid of all the towns, I mean, makes it harder for them to see the inner land. And generally in Spirit Island, if you have the explorers limited to the coast, you're in a winning position because you have far fewer lands to deal with and you can keep ahead of the invaders more easily. Doesn't seem as trivial here just yet though. I hazard to say that John would not say this is a winning board right now. I don't think John would say I'm winning right now. He wouldn't say I'm losing, but he'd say it's like, you know, we haven't won yet. But you could also just say it's guard the owl's heart and therefore I've already won. But that's kind of presumptuous of him. So yeah, Slave Rebellion is not happening, of course, this turn, but always keep that in mind. So we're gonna... This is where I wish I could like put... And I suggested this to John. But like in single player, when I do these check marks and stuff, it'd be nice if I could attach like a spirit to it to remind me which spirit is dealing with this. Like I could put a check mark here, but this check mark could be Fang's check mark because it's Fang's board. It could be Bringer's check mark for Call of Midnight's Dreams, or it could be Ocean's check mark for Indomitable Claim. It's impossible to know. And you know, if the intention is that this allows you to organize your thoughts more easily, it should allow me to organize my thoughts better. Anyway, that's Indomitable Claim. Plus Call of Midnight's Dreams. It's going to be 5 Dahan. We're going to get 4 towns in there. And an Explorer. So defend 20 is enough. And 5 Dahan is enough to kill the 4 towns and an Explorer. We could push 1 extra Explorer in there and it'd still be enough. But for instance, if we take everything in Northeast 6 and push it into Northeast 7, they don't all immediately die. But still better than, like, Northeast 7's defended. Better to do that than to push into Northeast 6, or East 6 rather. So that's fine. So I think, anyway, long story short, like, so not 100% sure that we're doing Paralyzing Fright. Could be better next turn to prevent a Blight, although there is an argument that preventing an Innerland build, or not Innerland build, but, you know, Northwest 5 or Northwest 8, if we prevent both of those, they don't have visibility to Northwest 7, for instance. So I'm going to table that for a second. Ocean, as we said, doesn't have many actions to do that matter just yet, but if you're doing this growth option, you're not getting a power card anyway. Really, it's just what power cards are we getting, if any. River, the plan was to do middle growth option, so we're not getting a power there. And Bringer, growth option 4 isn't a power card. So the only question is whether Fangs does a power card. And of course, you could rewind individual spirits now, but I still like to get the power card decision resolved first. Yeah, it's just a question of am I doing Paralyzing Fright or not. I think I don't want to, because if my plan was to do Ranging Hunt and do a plant, then I'd have to play 2 animal cards still. I don't have 3 card plays because I did do this. But even then, like, it'd be tough to play Paralyzing Fright and still get a Raging Hunt going anyway. Yeah, I couldn't even play it anyway. So I think I do take a power card here. It's gonna be minor while we are still short on energy. There are no animals on these cards, so we're not likely to play them this turn. So one thing to consider is what elements combo with Paralyzing Fright. That would be Call to Trade. We would need another Earth though. None of my other cards have Earth, so I'd have to get another Earth source, but it does give me another Air and Earth for that threshold for +4 Fear. Which is half a Fear card if I get 4 + 4. It's 16 Fear per Fear card in 4-player game. Fear is sometimes harder to get as the result. I could see Call to Trade being fine. Although this does put a city. This card always puts a city, doesn't it? I guess it could target a land with a city, but it's always going to result in a city. But it could be okay. Now you put a presence in a land with beasts or jungle. I'm just wondering, because I can't get... I can grow into West 4 and convert it to a beast, but it's not going to help deal more damage in West 9. Do I want this presence to be a place where I'm at, or do I want it to be beasts versus stocks? Also known as stonks. Like someone said, the best way to play Fangs is to always convert your presence to beasts, but I feel like I only do that about like 50% of the time. Because I think board visibility is sometimes better, plus you have other means of getting beasts on the board than just presence conversion. I generally find that the events are not entirely reliable for getting action out of beasts. It's like, even when they do something, it's just fear. Occasionally it's 2 damage, but... And occasionally they kill explorers, but I feel like... I don't know. Maybe I underestimate them. But I don't really like the stonks value of beasts that much. So I'm thinking I put this presence down for visibility. Like if I'm gonna play like Too Near the Jungle or Teeth Gleam from Darkness or something, I would need to be in jungles. And I'm currently in Northeast 5, but I could also be somewhere else. Maybe Northwest 4 for visibility on Ocean's board? Sure. So prevent a build ideally, and also push things out. That's what I'm feeling. It doesn't give me damage on Raging Hunt though. I might not need the Terrifying Chase. If I were to instead do like this or something else. Probably the Prey for extra beasts. The 1 damage isn't really that appreciable just yet, but... But it does mean I get 1 fewer town that I have to solve, I guess. Whoever's just always doing this. You don't need to see Northeast 7 just yet, so I think we just focus on your board then. Go down the river. Play those 3 cards. Bringer is going to take advantage of the Northeast 7 Dahan. River is going to go into 2 oceans, one of which has to be Northeast. I think I'm gonna take the water. How many cards am I playing? I don't need to defend this turn. I don't need to gather. Like, it's not even an energy. It's like 2/4 of an energy. I don't need to swallow because there's no towns in that land. The only thing that could potentially do anything is Tidal Boon. That's the defend card. So none of these, like, I'm playing Indomitable Claim next turn, is what I'm doing. I have to afford Indomitable Claim, and that's not trivial, is it? If I play an extra card, I could hit Ocean with Boon of Vigor. If I take +1 energy, though, I have basically the same energy. But then I have +1 next turn as well. How do I afford to play Indomitable Claim in Northeast 7? That's tough. Is there a way I can push a town into the ocean? In which case I would want to use Call of the Deeps. There's like no coastal towns. I mean, that's expected, but still. Maybe this isn't a check mark as much. The only thing that could potentially work would be to daisy chain towns into the ocean, but there's not a place to do that either. The closest would be like East 6 into East 1 into East, but... Or also Northwest 5 into Northwest 1 into Northwest, but... We didn't set up for that, and it's actually kind of fiendishly difficult to pull off. Doing a reclaim next turn for +2 energy is not going to work, because then I'm not in Northeast 3 to grow into Northeast 7. So that seems like a question mark now. Probably need Bringer to help out. Yeah, I don't see how to make that work. I'm just gonna take the energy then. I'll be sitting at 3.5 energy, which is annoying, but... Yeah, it kind of depends on what power we get from Bringer, whether it's a power that targets another spirit that puts energy or something, I don't know. Weird is what it is. I mean, I don't really like playing Call of the Deeps, though. It's the only card I can play that makes sense, and I don't like it. Whatever. I don't have this land as solved as I would have liked. I think we take the ones from the coast. This guy, hopefully we can find a way to deal with him. I guess we have like Call of the Trade. Call to Trade to help with that. Let's do this before I lose an element. And then I will do this. We did find a thing that puts presence down. If I go entirely up Ocean's energy track, then I do have enough energy to do claim next turn. And an early unrealizing growth is great, right? It's the wrong elements for Bringer. The right elements we Mists of Oblivion, which is terrible for Bringer because it never destroys anything. So it never gets extra fear. Pent Up Calamity, however, generally pretty good. thing is, I don't actually deal damage. I'm thinking maybe I could try to combo it with Fang somehow to put a beast somewhere. But I don't actually deal the damage, I just push the explorers, which is fine, but also there's tigers hunting. Am I in a jungle right now? No. Alright, let's do Unrelenting Growth. Wait, you do have enough energy. For some reason I did the math wrong. Okay, so if I do Boon of Vigor on Ocean, then you do have the 4 energy for Indomitable Claim next turn without needing to be unrelentingly growthed. Actually, this stops a build. I don't need the energy from it. I think that's fine. Now this is solved. All right, so this has become a check mark again. And the other 3 lands could be prayed and washed away and massive flooding did. Actually, hold on. Can I rewind, please? Thanks. It makes more sense to pray in West 9, I think. Which means I want to gather this beasts and this presence. And then not push the beasts. So this way this is done. Pending the event. And then I wash away and massive flooding the other 2, but now I don't need to defend one of those mountains next turn. I could focus my efforts on a different mountain. But also apparently undid the check mark. We are 40 minutes into the stream and we are now in the first slow phase. That's how single player tends to be. Single player Force Spirits tend to be, rather. Now they're doing Danger Sands. Here's where Call of the Deeps would be better for next turn. Oh well. E6 is just gonna be a blight, isn't it? We have an elusive ambushes. That could defend 4. The problem is mainly what's a land with Dahan that be a good target for. This is already defended. This isn't defended. Defend 4 would be enough. But you'd have to be at range 1 from it. I guess I could do double growth, put a sacred site in West 9. You're not playing Blazing Renewal next turn, nor is there any destroyed presence. I guess we should perhaps put a presence in a ravaging land, just so we have a destroyed presence. It's really weird, but with an early Blazing Renewal, we kind of need to intentionally sacrifice. Ocean 2 likes to live dangerously. Austin Danger Powers. Alright, well, I'm pretty sure this land's just not a high priority and it's blading, so. Generally, 1 land with 1,000,000 pieces is better than 1,000,000 land with 2 pieces. Or do we want a River's Bounty? That's a question. I guess we could River's Bounty after Unrelenting Growth. But it depends on who's the target of Unrelenting Growth. Target Spirit adds 2 presence and a Wilds. So like if I do it on Ocean and grow into Northwest 9, then I could still do like my double growth options to get Sacred Sites and Wetlands like I would like to do. Or I don't know. These sands are definitely the most isolated right now. Coastal sands are fine for Ocean at least. Northwest 6 is not coastal, however. And then your jungle presence is just up here. What happened to your other presence? Did you grow here? You grew in West 4, didn't you? No, we grew you in West 4 in the, Wait. What oh, I grew into what? I grew into Northwest 4. Okay, so I have this presence as well. Okay. This requires a string board. Just like a, Always adding up beasts, right? The conspiracy is real. It's conspiracy. I guess that's what I'm gonna say. Conspiracy. But you don't have enough energy for Paralyzing Fright unless I don't take a power card and I just do +3 energy or skip growth, which I don't like to do. Standard rule of Spirit Island is always be growing. So is there a sands we would like to not have built? Or is there a mountains we would like to not have ravage? I think we're targeting this with elusive ambushes. This is checkmark, it got reverted. That's a blight, and that's fine. Most likely these are fine. The major problem, I guess, is that you can't target lands with blight as easily with ranging hunts. But they're also far away from the inlands. And the inlands are priority. If I could do unrelenting growth into Northwest 8 with Reverse Bounty, that'd be nice, but that doesn't work. If I were to do it into East 8 and bring in Dahan, we'd have 3 Dahan in there. If I could somehow defend that, that'd be fine. I guess that could be the target of elusive ambushes, but again, that's not the high priority. It's just I'm looking at that versus Northwest 8 just because I can get more Dahan into East 4 or East 8, but you have this Vigor here, which it is also range 2, which is nice. Major problem with that is 1, it's not the right elements, and 2, it's fake damage. But targeting it, destroying a town is 2 fear at least, which is quite a bit of fear. But most of the towns that I would want to push are towns I'd want to destroy anyway. On the one hand, fake damage. On the other hand, lots of damage. Yeah. I guess hitting Northwest 6 with that actually would be fine. Except I guess every land that's adjacent to it is either building or ravaging, which is annoying. This is the defend. Theoretically, I could push them in Northwest 9. Except, well, that would be, or not Northwest 9, West 9. It's hard to tell which land belongs to which. Is this Northwest or is this West? I could push in the West 9 if I can get a defend there, but I don't really want to leave an explorer behind because there could be an event that converts inland explorers to towns, or one inland explorer to one town. I think I'm putting a base here, though. I mean, it's either there, or even here, maybe. I could stop a build if I do ranging hunt in there. Maybe that's better. Putting a wilds. Oh, this is actually Northwest. Actually, it is Northwest. Oh my god. Also known as mountain number 9. But no, that is Northwest. Can't flip and tell which land belongs to which part of the island. But growing in there puts a wilds, and therefore makes it harder for the invaders to go into there later. What happens if you target ocean with this? I guess it goes into Northwest 3. Or Northeast 3. Because that's the only legal position. I wonder what happens if you do try to target ocean when you don't actually have a valid land. I guess the effect just fizzles, because anytime you can't do something, it fizzles. So one option is rivers that we immediately have Northwest 8 visibility, but we also can just do that with our growth already. I haven't done River's Bounty yet, so I do have a +1 energy there. If I get up to 3 energy and a Reclaim 1, I can play Elusive Ambushes, Flash Floods, and 1 other card at least. Whereas currently I can only play 2 cards. That's probably reasonable to still do it on River. The original thought was I do it on Ocean. But I don't want to do it on Ocean. Have you ever thought about not doing it on Ocean? Could do it on Fangs to speed Fangs up, I guess. It would actually, if you get to the animal, you do get the damage clause on Frenzied Assault. Which potentially means we could put the beasts down with Teeth Gleam and then Frenzied Assault in that land. Not 100% on the value of that. Do I actually? Oh, I was gonna say, can I do it Northwest 6? But actually, no, there's no jungle there. Him and Ocean would be enough for all the boards. I'm gonna go with my original thought of doing it on River. If I can't defend Northwest 9, I could do Vigor to push things into there. At the very least, I could generate fear with Dread Apparitions directly. Yeah. A single Dahan is the saddest single Dahan. I don't know I needed those 2 though. Maybe not. Maybe I leave the 2 in there. Just gather 1. Lore has some questions it needs to answer with friends because extra explorers don't stay as explorers. I know nothing about lore, so I will just stay out of this conversation here. Now, what if I were to play Unrelenting Growth every turn? We're getting to 3 card plays this turn as Bringer, though, which is exciting. But now the problem is you don't have energy to play cards, which is less exciting. I could Reclaim 1 and take Dreams of the Dahan. And actually, that would put more Dahan into Northwest 8, which is what I really wanted to be able to do. If I Reclaim 1, though, then I'm putting Presence at range 0, which means that my Dread Apparitions is only generating 1 fear into Northwest 9. And the original thought was I push Explorers into it and kill them with the Dahan. I guess I could Blight and then we have Destroyed Presence, right? At the cost of a Dahan. We're doing Paralyzing Fright on Fangs. We want a Frenzy there. Or not Frenzy, we want to do Ranging Hunt there. We have beasts nearby to kill those guys. So we need to have a plant and 2 animals. And you're only playing 2 cards and you're not getting an extra element. So it has to be, yeah, you can't do Paralyzing Fright if you do that. It has to be 2 near the jungle and either Terrifying Chase or Rain of Blood. Terrifying Chase and Northwest 1 would be great if I could somehow get Beast into there, but if I'm doing Ranging Hunt here, I'm not accomplishing that. Lure is kind of like River and Edda plays collect that problems with innates and personal cards, but Lure can't grow to coastal lands and turns problems into explorers that it can ignore during Ravage or blend with an innate power. Ah. It's the anti-ocean. I do know there's also another spirit that can only ever be in mountains, right? And he's like a volcano spirit. Yeah, so I think you're taking a power here because you're not playing Paralyzing Fright ever. Prowling Panthers, though. Razor Sharp Undergrowth, though. Here there be monsters, though. Poisoned Dew, though. Alright, you can play Indomitable Claim now. And the goal is for you to do it there. So you're doing this growth. Quicken the Earth's struggles, though. Rights of the Land's rejection, no. Fire in the sky, though. Alright. So none of these give Sun Earth, so we're not hitting that threshold. We probably don't want to hit that threshold, but that's something to keep in mind. Quicken might actually be fairly decent for next turn if I have no other recourse for Northwest 1. Because that's just defend 10, and there's going to be 5 towns and an explorer if worst comes to worst. Possibly a Swallow the Land Dwellers target, but so is pretty much any coastal sands. Fire in the Sky is generally good. Alright, you're not doing cards, you're doing a reclaim. Prowling Panthers does not target sands. That's rude. Volcano looming high. That's the name of the spirit that is mountains only. This spirit would be awesome in this game because the mountains are the only lands. What's happening next turn? Next turn you're getting an animal at least. You could take Razor Sharp Undergrowth or Poison Dew. Poison Dew is actually fairly good for next turn because next Explorer is either jungle or wetlands. Destroying all explorers counters France. Razor Sharp Undergrowth also counters France because it puts wilds. But it's range 0. I guess the thing is you're not playing Poison Dew this turn now, and it's a slow card, so it doesn't actually work in time for that next Explorer, because you have to do 2 animal cards still. We could do Call to Trade and an animal card next turn, right? You're always playing Too Near the Jungle, because that's playing animal. Next turn we get that animal, so you only need to play 1 more animal card in order to get to Ranching Hunt threshold. Man, it'd be really nice if I can get Banks coastal this turn. Because Terrifying Chase would be so good for ocean. Possible that I just ignore Northeast 8. And instead, if I do Terrifying Chase from West 9 into West 4 into West 2, take out an Explorer West 4, which stops a build, and then Terrifying Chase will push the 2 towns and an explorer, which deals with this ravage. Well, build rather, and also the ravage. So we're gonna be doing vigor here. Not a very exciting vigor, but it does stop a build adjacent to the inland mountains. Dread is just going to provide some moral support in West 9, I suppose. Northwest 9, that is. Dreams of the Dahan gathers 2 Dahan to help solve that, which we are putting defend in. I'm just wondering whether to do Prowling Panthers or Razor Sharp. Well, no, I can't do these this turn. I could do these. I'm gonna take that one. We're back to this one. Invaders do not build in target land. I mean, I guess I could just hit Northwest 1 with it. That stops 5 towns. Are we losing to towns? 19 towns? What? Oh, God. I mean, we're stopping some of those. Like, 2 are prevented here, 1's prevented here. And that's it. I guess I do need to then stop the build in Northwest 1 then. But we are removing some towns. Northwest 8's towns are gone. And Northeast 7's towns are gone. So we really have like 5 extra towns and we're not building 3 towns. So we do stay alive. Pending the event. The other thing with Race of the Land's rejection is that it pushes Dahan, which allows us to set up for Slave Rebellion. There could be an argument for Pull Beneath for it just being elements on Ocean. Well, it does do 2 damage in the sands this turn. But I'm not hitting the city destroy, but I guess I don't need it because I'm not in a land with city. I could drown this town and kill another town. There would still be 3 towns and an explorer left. That's 7. So we would still need a strong defend. I guess Drift Down plus Grasping Tide does it. But if I stop them from building in Northwest 1, then that's like, that's 5 damage prevented. And then Grasping Tide works. And then I can do Drift Down at any sands at range 2, geez. Like that could target Northeast 8. Which isn't super important, but it can. You're playing 2 cards. I guess you could be in Northwest 2 to drown that city if we had gotten enough elements, but we're not. You're not in East yet. And we have a push from each ocean too, so this is just an extra presence. And then we're pushing all of the ocean presences. So like this is gonna be dealt with things. That's a question mark still. This is solved. This is question mark. That's potentially solved. And that's a question mark. I mean, I guess we do have river that we haven't considered yet. River could take those guys out and then put them coastal. Except that's not river's board or ocean's board. I guess I can grow into here though, and then I am actually on east. Could actually go into northeast 4 instead. You still have visibility to northeast 7 if you do that. This is not a sacred site thing, right? Yeah. I don't know what my plan for Northwest 2 is, but I don't think I want to be in there. I want to be in West 1 instead. Let's say no. Oh. I can't play rights this turn. Okay. In which case I could grow into Northwest 2 or Northeast 1 and drown stuff instead. Okay. Where'd that plus energy come from? What? I heard a plus energy sound. Yeah, Northwest 1 is building now, so I do need to be careful about Northwest 1. I guess this land is not that one. This land is something I need to consider. How close is the multiplayer to full release? I do not know. You'd have to ask John, and he is not here. He left me high and dry, which is rude. I guess I could do Sacred Site Northeast 7 if I wanted instead. Doesn't matter. Don't think it matters. I have 2 more energy than I expected. mean, I probably won't Dreams of the Dawn still. Predatory Nightmares does deal with West 9. Don't worry, Ocean will never leave you high and dry. Aw, thanks, Ocean. I'm just kidding. John didn't leave me high and dry. He said well in advance he was not going to be here. But I cannot speak on Handelabra's part as to where they are in development. Because while I am a beta tester, and I am playing on the beta build, I cannot profess as to where they feel they are in the design progress. Obviously, like, the game feels like it's in a good state, but I'm not playing multiplayer right now. So, like, whatever extra polishing they need to do, you know, I'm not going to say it's ready for release, because obviously, like, that's not how software development goes. You need to test for bugs, and then you need to test for bugs. And then when you're done testing for bugs, you need to test for some bugs. Quality assurance tester goes into a bar and orders a beer, and then orders 99 beers, and then orders -1 beers, and then tries to leave without paying, and then orders 20 beers after he leaves, and then orders apple beers, and then shits on the counter. That's the kind of shit, because, like, you can make the game look and feel great, but then you have to make sure that someone who clicks somewhere they shouldn't be or something doesn't screw up the game. You still have presents? Touch keeper, what? You prefer to play the multiplayer beta even in single player since you've gotten used to the interface changes? Yeah. I mean, I think there's nothing wrong with sticking on the multiplayer beta build. I mean, I'm on the beta build, which is slightly more advanced, I would say, than the multiplayer beta build. I don't know when the last MP beta build was released. I presume that there's slightly more stuff in here. Who the hell knows, though? Right, where do I want your presence to be? Do I want this to be a beast? Do I want visibility? Like, the plan is ranging hunt to get your presence into West 2 through West 4 from West 9. So, like, that presence and that beast are not touching. And you're going to terrifying chase from West 2. And you're also playing too near the jungle. So I guess you want jungle presence. Could just put you in East 1. Can I get you in East 1? Is that... How much range do I have? Range 3? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's easy. Alright, let's see how much I remember from the plan that I pieced together. Wait, what is that river, or what is that ocean doing on land 7? What? What? So anyway. I guess the major problem is that I never actually fully resolved what I'm doing with these explorers. And I took out the defend card to play Predatory Nightmares instead, which means I can't really put you into West 9 without presence being destroyed, but I guess I could just do that. Because we do still have that Blazing Renewal. And we have enough Dahan in there to counterattack. I have a Flash Floods this turn, for some reason. Makes sense. So blight, blight, blight. Solved. Oh, we already had that check marked. This one's not solved. Yeah, question marks. So what does this flash floods do? Is there any other damage happening? No. I could just use it to remove the Explorer from East 10. But like, if they choose to explore wetlands, I have to remove the new guys anyway with massive flooding. It doesn't stop a build anywhere because the Sands is not coastal and you're largely centered around here. I don't know. Maybe I do a damage in Northwest 8 in case Explorers do extra damage. Like, this is a blight, but we decided that destroying that presence was okay. Are there any Explorers at risk of converting from inland conversion? No. There's lots of inland Explorers here. I could potentially destroy the city in East 3 if I do flash floods and then massive flooding on it, but that city's not doing anything right now. It's solving some western desert. Oh, it does solve that one. Okay, that works. Because there's only one explorer in there. I kept thinking, well, if it's not coastal, it does 1 damage, and there's 2 explorers everywhere. But an intermediary desert, had that 1 explorer. If I solve the riddle of the second wave achievement, there's a riddle with a second wave achievement. No! Dahan, our friends. That also puts a city in Northwest 1. And do we lose because of that? No. It looks bad, except it's totally fine. This build was actually... I wanted that to build. Okay, fine. I guess you get to kill those guys. There's a choose for me button. I'm not going to click it for now because I want to... Ooh, that's really good, actually. That's now a check mark. Good job, team. We did it. That's the last beast that matters. Dang. Okay, so... Killing the town stops the ravage, but loses the beasts. But I guess I do it anyway. What's the rest of this? Choose land with 2 Dahan and at least 2 buildings. Is there a land with that? It's this one. Awesome. Also this one. That's kind of annoying. Thank you, Reckless Offensive. So both of those lands were dealt with. I guess I put the blight in the land where ocean isn't because inland ocean is rare and we keep that. Oh, is it? On each board. Okay, never mind. Bye, inland ocean. Turns out we didn't need your indomitable claim after all. And this one's hot. Oh, baby. Just France doing France things. And they do explore wetlands. So now River's gonna have some fun. So obviously East 10 is going to need some action somewhere. This terrifying chase is pretty sad. Because all the guys died there. Range 0 from Bank's presence, so the only thing that it hits right now is East 1. Unless we could push something else in East 1. Potentially massive flooding East 5 allows me to push a town into East 0. But it does screw up East 10. So, do we have means of mitigating that? And can we do something else for East 10? Paralyzing Fright would do it. They're not actually range 0, or sorry, range 2 from there right now. Northeast 3 is too far away from East 10, fun fact. And then we have a 2 near the jungle. For a second I thought that's a Drown and Explorer, and I was confused. Some okay-ish thoughts for 2 near the jungle. Doing it Northwest 3 stops the Ravage as well. Doing it East 2 stops the Ravage. Is Ocean anywhere else that has things other than these two? Remember this check mark? That was a good check mark. If I do Swallow the Land Dwellers of Northwest 2, then obviously Grasping Tide saves it. It's not really much of a difference whether to Northwest 2 or Northwest 1. I mean, obviously there's more things in Northwest 1, but Northwest 1 can't ever be defended unless I reclaim Indomitable Claim. Because that's 14 damage, which is a lot. But it also doesn't have anything other than Ocean Presence, which we could just destroy and have more for Blazing Renewal. Speaking of Blazing Renewal, we potentially could play it next turn. Do you have +1 energy there? And you could play River's Bounty and Boon of Vigor. It doesn't hit your super innate, though. We also, yeah, you're not ever hitting that 3 fire right now. This only damages buildings. But that said, Blazing Renewal into Northwest 1 would take out all the towns, and then it's more easily defended. And who has Destroyed Presence? Ocean does. Bringer does. River does. So if I do, like, get rid of all the towns and it's down to city and explorer, then it is defended with drift down. Or with grasping tide, so we could potentially protect those two. Northeast 1 is not easily solved. East 5 was my original thought for massive flooding. And if I do that, I could push a town into the ocean. But then we still have to deal with East 10, which means that I kind of have to reciprocate the favor from Fangs and do Paralyzing Frighten to East 10. Do we have any other means of mitigating East 10? If you do a Sacred Site in East 10, if Ocean does a Sacred Site in East 10 next turn, sorry, East 1, that is range 2 to East 10, and then we could do Rights of the Land's Rejection. You will have 3-card plays, so you can play these 3 cards. Doing that gives you an air, which is good, gives you 2 moons, 1 water. So you only hit the first level threshold of pound ships. And you also don't really hit ocean breaks that well. You have a Dread Apparitions potentially for Bringer. You probably don't want Bringer to place a presence down. We lost the Northeast 7 presence. Sorry, when I say place presence, I mean range 0 presence. So can we avoid reclaiming 1? You will have 4 energy. Do I not push to this any because I'm like 2 away from it? Just totally ignore energy track entirely with this Bringer? Weird. Like, yeah, I could see Bringer just taking a power card and adding a presence. There is something to be said about playing Unrelenting Growth every turn instead, but you don't have the energy to sustain that. Like, he only ever plays presence 1 at a time, but if you did Unrelenting Growth every turn, you'd have 2 presence at a time, but you don't have the energy to sustain that, because I didn't do energy growth. Weird. Alright, so there's some options here. I think then we swallow here. We can deal with East 10 in a different way. So I could do massive flooding here. Get our first fear card. Trying to collect the town. There we go. You can go into East 1. Jungles aren't doing anything. Terrifying Chase. Into the ocean. Gives ocean an energy. So that's gone. Potentially we want more Dahan in East 3. It's a city and explorer, it's 4 damage. Potentially defended though by ocean in 2 turns. So it might be okay to not put the Dahan there. You don't need Dahan there. Any other... I guess we already saw the event that converted it, huh? Cultural Assimilation. The Jeff Dugan event. About Predatory Nightmares. We do have Dread Apparitions for West 9. Don't have a lot of innate fear currently because we don't have the animal for next turn as it currently stands. But if I do Predatory Nightmares in West 9, then that would be enough to defend without the animal. Defend 1 and then defend 1. Not a super big priority though. Especially because it doesn't kill the town, it pushes it. Might be better to try to stop a build. Like if I do Predatory Nightmares here, it stops a build. Like if I get a fast fear card, then West 9 is defended. What thing are we losing next turn? 12 buildings? That's a lot. And none of the Sands Ravages are with Dahan, so I guess we need to focus on build prevention more. This also is not building, though, is the thing. But that's fine. Ocean has, or river has enough presence, enough Dahan over there, right? Surely there's enough Dahan there. Not really a whole lot happening for either to near the jungle. And I'm still not sure about this one. Let's put it here. Just because even if that is build prevented, if we do let the Ravage go off, then the Dahan will kill the remaining explorers. That's my thought. I don't know. Let's do it here because there's nothing else happening over here. What's left? Ocean breaks, drown a town. Oh, maybe I should have not pushed a town with Terrifying Chase here. Damn, I have to go back now. Because all the other towns on the other side are dying to Blazing Renewal anyway. Okay. What if River doesn't reclaim? River could very easily just not reclaim, right? Reclaiming all means I take Boon of Vigor and River's Bounty as plays. Actually, I have more energy than I thought I did. For some reason I'm at 2+3. Oh, because I didn't do River's Bounty yet when I was thinking about math. Okay. I was thinking I need a +1 energy. So I could do Presence and gain a power. Unless I really needed to be able to play Wash Away for this next turn or something, which is probably important. I could just reclaim it though. We're not hitting like the second level innate ever, so we just need a Sun Water card from a power gain in order to do first level thing. I mean, always be growing, right? Now, we know Ocean is doing growth option 3, so Ocean is getting a power card there and is doing Rights of the Lane's Rejection on East 10. and possibly the two other defend cards as well, so that these two are then covered. That plus Blazing Renewal for that land as well. That depends on what Bringer finds. That's probably Blighting. And then we're preventing that build. So how many other things can we do? Call a trade doesn't work. Don't really have many other things that we can do. We could take Flash Floods back instead. Except we don't have the energy for it. Ever. Alright, I'm gonna do this. All to Isolation. Shit. That's really good. That makes this also extra covered. And then we prevent the build in East 9 instead. So we prevent 2 builds. Unless I want to not do that. These aren't Sun Water cards, so we're not actually hitting thresholds. But Ocean's also taking a power card that is probably not going to be played this turn. Ah, Gold's Allure. That helps with all of the coastal mountains that Ocean has. Actually, no. Again, I am making this mistake where I assume Ocean needs to be in that land. It is range 1 mountain. And I was being facetious to begin with anyway, because Indomitable Claim does let me get into inland anyway. Jungle Sands Disease. I don't care for that. Gnawing Root Biters is push 2 towns and it's pretty cheap. Seems acceptable. Fangs is also taking a power because you can always play Paralyzing Fright if we screw up and decide we need it still anyway. Elemental Boon. Pretty sure it's Elemental Boon. It doesn't help with that, does it? If I take Elusive Ambushes, then no, it doesn't. Actually, wait. Fire, Earth, Plant. There are no plants, there are no earths. Okay. But Elemental Boon at least hits Bringer, right? I mean, it's not like Fang super needs the animal, but it does help generate more fear. Is Bringer also taking a power? I think we said Bringer was taking a power, right? It depends on what this power was, because we don't want to reclaim. We don't want to do presence at range 0. Sure. Swarming Wasps does combo with things. Because we could do Ranging Hunt, put a beast somewhere, and then Swarming Wasps pushes 2 explorers away. Not sure where that would be the most effective. Because Bringer can't exactly go into Northeast 4 that well. This is a range 1 presence that we're looking at here. Gift of Constancy any good? Also, what about your elements? You're not getting the any yet. So So you currently have a moon and an air, and you could be boonded for a moon and an air and an animal or something. So the best would be a moon. And Shadows of the Burning Forest would do it. Ah, yes, Springer turning one of their hard-fought 3-card plays to do energy. Yes, hard-fought card play, and I will now instead turn it into energy. Oh my gosh. What could I do with swarming wasps? I mean, ideally we use it to like push explorers out of wetlands, but there's not really good spots for that because like, I guess actually, okay, the East 10 explorers, you push them in East 6. I was really thinking East 9 for some reason. I don't know why. But if we put a beasts in East 9, which I'm not sure if we can. I guess I could do it through East 1 or Northeast 6, but if I get a beast in East 9, then Swarming Wasps pushes those 2 explorers away. So like then that solves that build as well. We're leaving a lot of explorers alive, and so each subsequent explorer is going to be scary because now it's like, oh, now this land has 9 explorers because I pushed explorers into it. East 6 would be a terrible build if that happened, I guess. It does seem like Soaring Wasps is more useful here than Shadows because Ringer isn't really in lands where there's shit happening. I guess we do have presence at range 1, so we could do like Shadows, but the thing is that then West 9 blights, right? It only barely doesn't blight if I focus 2 card plays into it, Elemental Boon plus Shadows. And the Elemental Boon would need to provide Moon, Air, and Animal. This does give me an Air and an Animal, though. Which isn't enough. I can only get 2 fear off this. But it does synergize better with the other spirits, I feel like. Called Isolation is too good. Gnawing Root Biters. I guess we... oh, but they're not building there. I guess it does solve Northeast 4. But was all our focus... I guess we're not playing rights this turn. Since we've actually figured something else out. I guess we could do rights in East 4, though. Actually somehow stop these 3 builds. Which is pretty sick. But I still would need to play defend and defend. But Gnawing Root Biters is still good for Ocean because it pushes things into the ocean. Go figure. Delusions of Danger. Guardian Serpents. I mean, Guardian Serpents is like what you'd normally take with Fangs, right? What are you playing now? You're getting an animal. Or, yeah, you're getting to the animal, so you have these 2 animals. So you need to play a plant and an animal. Which, your plant would have to be called a trade. Which, there is currently no Sands Ravage that has Dahan. So maybe, do I need the damage in Raging Hunt this turn now? We're kind of struggling to do that, right? Because we wanted to get the Dahan in East, or the Beasts in East 9 for Swarming Wasps. And I think that means your presence then has to go in here, right? That's the only thing. I guess you could... no, you can't. You can go into West 7. I prefer West 8. If you do get that moon, then we do see our first fear card ever. Like, this has been a bad bringer game because we've not revealed any fear cards, which is bringer's specialty. If you take elemental boon and you hit bringer for moon, then you can also target for animal and plant, and then you can play any other card you want. Actually, Guardian Serpents for Northwest 1 means Ocean has a spare card play. Which means you could do Rights in East 4 and non-group biters in Northeast 4. The only reason to give you that moon would be to reveal the fear card, because you're not going to defend enough in West 9 as it stands, right? You don't need that Sacred Slate right now? Yeah, it's fine. Let's do Guardian Serpents. And assume that I'm not doing the damage on Raging Hunt. So to get the beasts in East 9, I need to place the presence down and convert it. And the best way to do that would be converting East 1's presence. I could just convert the presence in Northeast 6 and then place the presence down there. Do I need to be in Northeast 6 anymore? I hazard to say no. Oops. I'm hitting all the things. I'm hitting all the things. Wow. Okay. Convert. That. Gives you a town drown, which is not going to be relevant, at least just yet. I was wondering what the undo was for, but I haven't reclaimed yet. Wash away is probably the safest. Forget if I needed to do something with this. Was I using elusive ambushes? No. There's no Sands Ravage that has Dahan. I think I do wash away. Okay, so what is Fang's doing? We'll just Prowling Panthers, I guess. That gives me Frenzied Assault. That does combo. Cool. Who wants their destroyed presence in Northwest 1? Let's do River. I guess if I took Flash Floods, but I don't have energy for it, right? Flash floods would kill everything else at that point. It's totally fine. Sure hope they don't explore mountains. Oh wait, no. That wasn't right, because Guardian Serpents. All right. Head town to a land with Explorer Town. Add disease, the sands or mountains with the most buildings. Each spirit with at least two Dahan among all its lands gains +1 energy. Oddly, that's not Bringer. Oh no, Bringer does have 2 Dahan there. Okay. It's not Ocean because Ocean hates Dahan. It's definitely River because River loves Dahan. And it's Fangs because of East 9. And did we just do that? Yeah, we just did that. Cool. Add town to a land with Explorer Town. This is on each board. And then we add disease to sands or mountains with the most. So it's going to be West 9 that gets the disease. And then a tie here. That town there would result in a blight. Guess that might as well go here. I mean, this is going to just be what it is. It is what it is. All right. And then that is what it is. This one's slightly annoying because this blights, but this is also going to be something we didn't want to have to deal with next turn, and now we do, but that's fine. This decision is fixed. This is definitely the best place for that. It prevents 17 towns from being placed there, at least. That decision is fixed. So it's really just a question of those two. I'd say just that one. I don't know. Bear card. Defend 1 in all lands. Awesome! There's still blights. Also, Island is blighting. Is it? No, it's not blighting. Ringer has another destroyed presence, good for Blazing Renewal. Jungle Explorer. Next turn is the Dahan Insurrection, right? Or Slave Rebellion, rather. So that's a forest town there. That's a forest town there. That's a blight, which will blight the island. Put a coastal. We're not in France 4, so coastal cities don't do anything. Put it with ocean. Okay. Do you have a Song of Sanctity? Should I have actually not done that, so I could have pushed explorers into the ocean, and then that build is done. Yeah, we do have the Slave Rebellion. On each board, add strife to a town. Invaders with strife take 1 damage per Dahan present. We could still Slave Rebellion in West 1, I guess. Push all the explorers out, and then Slave Rebellion the town. I didn't take the stupid power that would have been so nice, though. Why did I decide that I didn't want Fire in the Sky when I'm playing Dahan Insurrection? Or when I'm playing France. Okay, so currently this board doesn't have a valid Slave Rebellion target. Or, well, it has a town, but not with Dahan. This land, or this board, doesn't either. We could utilize gnawing root biters to convert a town into a Dahan. I'm not sure if that's worth. This one also doesn't. This one has 2. So we have 3 boards that have a non-valid Slave Rebellion, and then we have 1 board that has 2. So one thing I could do is push 2 towns from East 6. 1 into Northeast 7 and 1 to East 9. And then that gets me 2 Dahan that way. I'm not sure if that's worth, though, because the original plan was to deal with the Northeast 4 ravage just by pushing the towns into the ocean. We don't have rivers pushing. We do have Washaway, I guess. Washaway is originally going to East 4. We could just deal with East 4 in different ways, right? We have elusive ambushes that just defends 4 in it, and that's fine. We probably would like it in East 3, but I shouldn't have played Grasping Tide. I should have played Drift Down because that doesn't work on East 3. Shoot. Oh well, too late. Mountain Jungle, do stuff. At the very least, Bringer is reclaiming, and Bringer has Dreams of the Dahan that gathers 2 towns, right? Unfortunately, Bringer is mostly on board on the west board right now. Unless I were to use Blazing Renewal next turn, which is also valid. And then Bringer could be pretty much anywhere. And can gather Dahan more easily. Am I reclaiming on Ocean, or do I want to play these cards? Jungle Defend, or Defend 1 is not really that helpful. Jungle Defend, the 4 Defend and Jungle would be better for next turn, but Tidal Boon is a bit too slow. I guess it's an Ocean Reclaim. It goes against the idea of always placing presence, but alternatively, it doesn't work. I was gonna say alternatively we don't reclaim and we just push for City Destroy, but we don't. It would depend on the power card that we see. Kind of feels like I would rather, like, East 4 takes care of itself at least. This is the question mark. Any defend would work. Guardian Serpents would have worked for it as well. Unfortunately, I didn't go up the route of Reclaim 2 on the on Fangs, but so I'd have to reclaim all to get this back. I do have 1,000,000 energy though. I don't really like lose too much by doing this reclaim option, other than like instead of +1 energy, it's -1 energy. It's honestly not that bad. I don't know why it's frowned upon to do that. Basically spend 2 energy to reclaim your cards. But anyway, I think I want to stick to the original plan of pushing these into the ocean, because it deals with the Ravage, which otherwise we would need to throw something else there to deal with it. It gives Ocean the energy that Ocean likes. I guess the other thing is there a town for Ocean to drown otherwise? Yes, this one. Okay. So if I do Wash Away in Northeast 6 to put 2 towns into lands with Dahan for conversion, is there a place I can do it in Northwest the most easily? Not quite. Also, this build sucks, doesn't it? That's 4 towns. We're getting 13 towns and 4 cities. Like, Song of Sanctity in West 5 actually is reasonable because it stops 4 towns. This only stops 1 town. Or no, if we do the Dahan conversion, I push the 2 explorers, then it stops 2 towns. It destroys a town. Well, that's always happening anyway, and it, yeah. So it's 4 towns versus 1 town, so doing it in West 5 seems better. If I do a reclaim on Ocean, I do get rights of the land rejection back, but I don't have range here. Do I? No. That's range 3 from Northwest 1. Dang. Turns out that reclaim card would have been really nice here to keep rights of the land rejection for next turn. I do have Paralyzing Fright. I could very easily get a Sacred Site in West 2 with Fangs, and Paralyzing Fright into West 5 seems really good as well. To stop the 5 towns that way, and then I can stop the West 1 build directly. I'm gonna hazard to say, like, we can deal with those then. I could also do Wash Away in Northeast 3 to just stop the Northeast 3 build, but that seems a bit meh. Destroy 1 Explorer town is also a bit meh. That's probably just gonna be blading. Ranging Hunt in Northeast 5 stops the build entirely, but I could also take out the town in Northwest 4. I can do Frenzied Assault in Northeast 5 right now. And then I can Prowling Panthers Northwest 4 and then Ranging Hunt there next turn. I'd be playing Call to Trade and Rain of Blood unless I find a power card that works, or if I reclaim Guardian Serpents, then I actually have other options. Any other plant card would do it, and I also get a power card still that way. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and do the Wash Away here then. Put you there. Don't put you in East 10 though, that's game over. And then this Explorer, or do I push the town as well? I guess if I push the town, then there's no more visibility to East 10. No, there is still, because East 6, okay. There's an extra town in there. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so Frenzy here just stops that entirely. And then if I set up Prowling Panthers here, then I can do Ranging Hunt in there, place a presence and convert it, and I have 2 beasts. Seems fine. We're gonna do Paralyzing Fright in West 5, so I will stop the West 1 build. So the only thing I'm not 100% on is whether I'm reclaiming his fangs or not. And whether I'm reclaiming his ocean or not. Ringer is always reclaiming. When you're playing 3 cards, especially if you want to play Unrelenting Growth, you're taking a minor here. Entrancing Apparitions. Interesting. Okay. River's also reclaiming. You do have +4 energy, but we're probably doing Blazing Renewal this turn as well. Defense 6. Interesting. Inflame puts a strife, yeah, strife, but it's slow, so it doesn't work for the Slave Rebellion this turn. This also puts a strife, but it's slow. It is really good elements, though. Well, I guess it's the same elements as Entrancing Apparitions. So we do have a means of defending East 3 with Nature's Resilience. What about Speron? So we're doing Paralyzing Fright here. That's Slave Rebellion. I'll do this icon for Slave Rebellion. I think that's the icon that John said that Eric Rouse forget how we decided the name was pronounced, that the developer said that that icon generally means that you're going to destroy a lot of stuff in that land, which we sort of are. Not a lot, we are doing something in there. Still not 100% here. John would have to take a journey in order to get to a place where there's towns, unless I could do a push of a town, but there's no neighboring towns other than this one, which is already Slave Rebellion did. Does Entrancing Apparitions do anything effective? It could target the ocean always, of course, if I can get there, which I could do with Blazing Renewal, I suppose, if I needed that. Let's see. If I do Blazing Renewal in Northwest 3, obviously this is range 2, right? So if I do Blazing Renewal in Northwest 3, obviously that solves that Ravage. And we are on 1 Blight, so we are on verge of the island blighting, which is probably okay, TBH. We're gonna be able to mitigate that. So we haven't solved these quite. Actually, this one's not even an issue, is it? Oh no, the eyeball was hiding the other explorer. Okay. Yeah, when you when you look at it like this, it's like, well, there's only one explorer, but it's because the other guy got hidden by the eyeball. So that's really the only two. Plus this one, I guess. Those are the three ravages that are not certain yet. I guess I'm gonna put an exclamation point because technically that's the ravage icon. And then I'm gonna do eyeballs for the builds. Now, if Ocean does reclaim, then we get Call of the Deeps back, which means that this build doesn't happen. The Northeast 3 build is probably slightly okay, just because, I mean, also the East 1 build is also slightly okay. But if I do Entrancing Apparitions, though, I guess that also works for, like, it's pseudo Call of the Deeps. But it allows me to stop the East 2 Ravage, right? And we didn't really see anything that would help with the Dahans, right? I guess, actually, oh, but Tidal Boon is slow. Tidal Boon could put Dahan on any coastal land, but not quite. I guess okay, if I gather 2 Dahan into Northwest 5, and then I do Call to Trade on Northwest 5, it gathers a town. And that's one way of making that work. I could do it Northwest 7, except it needs another Dahan to actually die. If you're playing Call to Trade and Paralyzing Fright, you're not getting that animal. But if you are spurred on, you would get the animal. Does the damage matter? I guess I could do 1 damage to the town and then gather the town into Northwest 7, assuming that I can do also Paralyzing Fright on West 5. I mean, you have to put the presence in West 2 for that to happen, right? You take 1 damage per Dahan present and add a Dahan per town destroyed. So if the town's at 1 damage, it dies. It also stops the city in Northwest 4. It does also the Ravage in the wetlands becomes a build, but there won't be anything in there, maybe. Maybe. Best way to do that, though, is to play another card, because I want Paralyzing Fright for West 5 always. So if I play Call to Trade, I don't have the damage on Ranging Hunt, so I'd have to play a card that has Animal on it, which could be just Rain of Blood, so I don't have to reclaim, but the only way that you play an additional card, since you don't have 3 card plays, is to be spurred on, and if you're spurred on, then we don't actually have Nature's Resilience for East 3. I'm double checking the elements on Blazing Renewal because I recognize that Inflame and Nature's Resilience have fire and earth and plant, but not all at the same time. And the most important is fire and earth, because I need 3 of those, and those cards do not have both, they have 1. And that's annoying. Let's go back here for a sec. Pretty sure I take entrancing apparitions. But I get to play it this turn. If I do, I'm not playing Unrelenting Growth, which is fine. I've wanted to play it like every turn ever, but you don't always get to do those. Defend 2 and East 4 is actually enough, pending the event. It could also just blight, but it is blight the island, but like the island's almost certainly blighting. For you to be able to do entrancing apparitions there, you would need to, since you're doing to reclaim, you need to be blazing renewaled. And the best candidate would be East 5, because if they explore sands, that would be a blight. But mountains is also a blight, and all of those lands are blighted already. Ugh. Pretty sure I take that though. And we'll figure out where I can do it. Am I doing the Dahan gathering here? It's range 2. If I do gather to Northwest 5, I don't actually need to do the damage on ranging hunt. So I don't need Speron in that world. I think I do that to set up for the event then. Is there a land with beasts that I can push guys from at an acceptable range? Not just yet. Potentially West 8. And that would stop that build. The major problem with that is that I'm not really getting elements where I want them. Plus I'm playing that one. Just swarming wasps is the question. I'm doing a lot of things that feel like they don't really work well together is the major problem. So I don't need Speron. I'm gonna take Nature's Resilience. I could just push stuff in lands with Dahan, huh? Like that stops the East 4 build without needing entrancing apparitions. Or Ravage. So if I do that, I don't need entrancing apparitions as much. What would I play instead? I guess I could just play Unrelenting Growth. Yay! We're actually pretty close to the threshold on it. As long as Sanctity gives me another sun implant and Vigor gives me a sun. I can't afford to play all of those, but even then, that would be a plant short. Okay, so Nature's Resilience for East 3. If I do Call to Isolation on East 4, that's a check mark. And then if I do Entrancing Apparitions for East 2, then Ocean doesn't need to reclaim. This drift down is still sad, of course, but guess I could just do drift down east 2 and then I don't need entrancing apparitions. Unless I want to stop the build in east 1. For that to happen, you need to be able to target the ocean, which means you're either going east 1, east 2, or east 3. Which, I'm not really fond of that for Blazing Renewal. It's pretty sad for damage. Blazing Renewal in northeast 3 is okay, because actually that, if I do that, then I actually stop that build entirely. But it's also a bit meh. Blazing Renewal in West 5 might actually be a lot better, just to remove all those towns and deal with that ravage a bit more effectively. I could just do that next turn. We could just reclaim Blazing Renewal every turn from now on. The major problem is energy. If I do double growth to get to +5 energy, then I can afford it without needing any extra boosts. And next turn I could do like Boon of Vigor and River's Bounty, and I spend no extra energy. And then River's Bounty gives me a +1 energy. It's a weird cycle. Blazing Renewal is kind of replacing Massive Flooding at tier 3, isn't it? It doesn't damage every invader, but it still does 2 damage to everything, and it puts Destroyed Presence back, which... yeah, it's gonna be on either Bringer or Ocean. I've just been assuming Bringer for Entrancing Apparitions. I don't think Ocean would fare any better with it. So drift down for defend 1 on east 2. Tidal Boon. Push a town and 2 Dahan. I mean, there will be places for that, right? Okay. So I think you do get to gain a power card then. You have 2+1. I think I'm still gonna do minor. You're energy starved. Lure of the Unknown, you say? What's water? What's a water element? If I do Veil the Night's Hunt, I don't have to do Call to Trade, but on Fangs. But also Fangs hasn't gained a power card yet, has he? Because we were deciding whether he should reclaim or not, and I think we've decided he doesn't need to reclaim. I think you could take a major, but you're playing Paralyzing Frights, you're actually at 3 energy. Let's just do minor for safety. This turn, target spirit may use 1 slow power as if it were fast. Huh. So now all the slow blight, the slow strifes became a lot better. Not sure that it actually changes what I want to do. I still like Entrancing Apparitions. I still like Nature's Resilience. Even though we've set aside some strife things. Pack does give a plant and an animal. And there are places where it can be used. Not really a whole lot though. But I like it. And lure is fine. And then you need a sacred site in West 2. So now you do get a damage on Ranging Hunt. You haven't really been able to play many cards effectively. I'm gonna just take elements here. Your energy game's been pretty bad, Ocean. Seamus is disappointed in me. I don't need a Sacred Slate this turn. Probably want to go into a town that's building, if there is one. A coastal jungle, no. So then... guess we haven't solved Northwest 3, so we are getting a blight. Anyone that can be title boon to push a town into Ocean's Land? Also not really. I guess Northwest 4 is the best bet. There's not really many good places for this to be. I'll just go into Northeast 1, I guess. Except I can't because that's range 2 and I need to be range 1. So I'll just go into Northeast 2. Yeah, good town drown. Alright, this took like 15 years. Are we ready to actually do the Slave Rebellion? Oh, I can't reach this. That makes that annoying. Also, what was I thinking I could actually... get the Dawn there? I guess I was thinking I could do things with Ocean. I don't remember what I was thinking. I guess I could Lure of the Unknown to get the town in here. Originally I was gonna drown something over here. Alright, let's do the things that we're always doing. We're doing that. Doing that. Doing that. Doing that. I think I did Swarming Wasps thinking I would do it in West 8. Which in retrospect is kind of annoying. Because I was actually planning on doing damage here now. That said, I can't actually get that town out, huh? I guess maybe the thought was Dreams of the Dawn, or with Blazing Renewal I could do something. If I Blazing Renewal into Northwest 3, then I can hit Northwest 5. Again, it's a bit lame, but it does actually stop all the blight. And then Entrancing Apparitions stops this build. It's actually pretty nice. Okay. So that's Slave Rebellion now. Oh, I can't actually Entrancing Apparitions this guy's out unless I put you in there, but I can't. Okay. So I don't actually stop that build. Actually, I can with Swarming Wasps, after all. We did it! And I can do Entrancing Apparitions here, and it stops that build there. Okay. I see what we're doing. So I don't want you in Northwest 3 because that will blight. That's fine. So that's no longer building. Yeah, I guess we have a fear card we're looking at here that I probably should have done earlier. I don't feel like rewinding to do it though. So let's just see what our fear card is. Each player removes an explorer town from a land where it is the only invader. Okay. Not too many places where that would work. It could be West 10. But yeah, there's a lot of double invaders. I guess actually if I knew that was the event card or the fear card, I could have not gathered those two explorers and we could have just killed both of them separately. It's fine. What's the worst that can happen? I die? Where do I want my ranging hunt to be? Where's the one blight you're looking at here? Oh, that one? Yeah, it's not happening. Okay. We're getting 3 towns and 2 cities, but that's assuming this is a city. That's really 2 towns and a city. Don't want to get beasts in East 1 to prepare for destroying stuff. We do have Town Destroy. Town Drown, that is. We have a title boon that pushes a town. Seems more like I want to be in Northeast 3 to deal with that next turn. This eyeball's gone. So I have my damaging ranging hunt that I'm not doing with damage. That seems exceptionally annoying. Guess I can go into West 5 and prepare for that next turn. And if I am in there, I guess we also have a pact. If I target myself with pact, I can do 3 damage in West 5 if I'm in West 5. That's really the jungle where there's the most Dahan, isn't there? Can even kill 2 towns with that. But wait, you only damaged 1 town. What do you mean you destroyed 2 towns with that? Slave rebellion. Alright. This one. This one. This one. This one. Invaders explore at +1 distance. Rude. Also, we were too... No, we weren't too far away. I was like, oh, we're almost at tier level 2. No. Invaders do +3 damage per land in lands with 3 or more invaders. I didn't even know that was a thing, TBH. Alright. Choose a land with disease in that land. Do 2 damage to invaders and 2 damage to Dahan. So it's that one, that one, that one, that one. There's no Dahan in those lands. Nice. On each board, choose a land of disease. So the only choice is really here, and it's always going to be this one, right? And then the other should be automatic? No? Do we have a choice here? I guess I do this one because then it gets rid of this town. And I don't have any extra damage, right? I could actually do Pact on that city if I do 2 damage to it and I target Ocean. Is that better than my plan here? Probably not. There's a disease in there and Ocean can drown it someday. It's really weird, like, I feel like I'm looking at the board like this. So, how do you want to deal with this land? Weird. Alright, 2 fair cards. We know the first one. Remove Explorer Town from a land where it's the only invader. So how many options do we have here? 1, 2, 3, and that's it. So there's no choice here. Just do it. Yeah. The next fair card says... Each player may push a Dahan from a land with invaders or gather a Dahan into a land with invaders. Now that seems pretty useful. For instance, I could totally make this pact be so much better. Holy shit. I can gather 3 Dahan into there. Well, I only need to gather 4 because pact, or sorry, I can gather 2 Dahan, so put 4 in there. The 5th would come from pact, and that would take out all the towns in that land. But there's also consideration for the ravages, like putting a Dahan in here, which we could do that independently. Kills the 2 explorers. Those guys are already dead, right? Those guys aren't dead. And that's it. So it's just this wetland, and then I can put 2 in there to prep for pact. I guess I could have, like, daisy chained something for extra Dahan. It's fine. Or I can even pact this Dahan now, so I could have done more. It's fine. I'm totally fine killing explorers. Explorers with France are actually scary because they turn into towns. So I'm totally fine just taking the effort to kill explorers. Sands. Sands at range 2. It actually is doing something this turn. Because it did one thing. These guys like the beach. It's also blighting. It is blighting East 5. So I guess I do that first. Every other board has a thing that we can target, right? So immediately on each board, destroy a presence and remove a town. So I probably should have put the towns down first, huh? It's probably fine. So we can remove that super stack. This is Fangs' board? Why is there only one Fangs presence there? Because Fangs decided he wanted a different board to be his own? I mean, like, destroyed presence is actually totally fine. It makes Blazing Renewal work on everyone. Does Bringer need that sacred site? I hazard to say he doesn't. Probably wants to stay in the land with the explorers. Fang had places to go. Oh, because he's not here. Why isn't he here? He had places to go. Because on turn 1 or turn 0, we decided to grow Fang into West 4 because that had a beast. And then he's been focusing a lot on the West Coast. Kind of forgot that Northeast was a thing, I guess. It's probably an ocean presence. Probably that one, even though northeast 1 is a bit annoying. Why does it say 1 left to remove? That seems inaccurate. It's 1 per board. I guess it's like kind of keeping the multiplayer thing where it's like each spirit has 1 choice and each spirit is controlled by 1 player sort of thing. I don't know. There's no towns here. So I should have done like Explorer to a Sands first on that board. Probably should have, actually. That probably would have been better just because of the potential for towns destroyed. Those are dead by Pact. I guess I could destroy a town instead. Or click a town there, and then Pact destroys 2 Explorers as well, and it makes it easier to defend for next turn. You do not have... Oh, you will have range. Yeah, so you could defend 4 in there anyway. And there's 5 Explorers in there. Yeah, so I think I'll just target that land. That seems fine. And then this is going to be the bigger problem next turn. There's no inner land visibility, so... yeah, I'll do that one. I guess actually... oh no, yeah. East 6 doesn't have a town, so if they do explore mountains, I could put a town in there to prevent a cascade. And then, do I have enough for Northeast 3? I don't know. Let's assume I do. Guess I have to focus on this land with Ranging Hunt next turn. That's gonna be Blight, Blight, so that's the only one that's not Blight, and then that's probably the better place for you. Okay. So I need to... actually, these are gonna be eyeballs, technically, I guess. Look at the ocean, isn't it a great ocean? Yeah, I don't really know what eyeball is supposed to mean, but I've been using it to mean watch out because this is building. I used to think that this icon means there's going to be a blight there, but I've been told that that actually means that's you're going to do a lot of destruction there, and that the exclamation point means that there's going to be a blight there. Sands Ravage. Alright, so let's do what I know I'm doing. Okay. The only other slow powers, Ocean Breaks and Tidal Boon. So potentially Northeast 3 is blighted, and that's okay. If I do Ocean Breaks and Tidal Boon in East 1, then that's solved. And potentially I do a defend there. Ocean's Reclaiming, so all of Ocean's powers are back, and Drift Down works for defend 4 in there, so that's a check mark. And then I make that a check mark. It has to be either Ocean or Fangs. And it's another, so it has to be Fangs. No, there is a consideration that maybe I should have focused on Sands. There's not much I can do with Sands. I could have pushed a town out from West 2 to prevent a city build. But I think there's other things we can do. If Bringer still had Entrancing Apparitions, we could entrance into West 0, but Bringer's not actually a range 0 from there. It could entrance into Northwest 0, but that doesn't stop any build as it currently stands. Is there any jungle that would work for that? Not quite. West 1 sort of, if I can deal with the town fast. But Ocean is reclaiming. And Ocean still would like to Blazing Renewal someday. Maybe this day. I don't know, Blazing Renewal is better for defend, right? So maybe not. Finally found water cards. Infested Aquifers is good elements. Since we've been having a hard time finding water cards lately. Like, how many water cards have you missed out on? Like, lots of water cards? But they don't immediately, like, solve Northeast 3 right now. What about Fangs? Fangs is playing 3 cards. Is Call to Trade and Rain of Blood acceptable? We could totally build a city in West 5 by doing Call to Trade there. Doesn't seem correct. Could be major time on Fangs. Could be... Yeah, you're gonna have 6 energy. It's a pretty good major amount of energy. Those powers aren't too exciting now. Do we need you to do other things this turn instead? Like, do things in the sands, I guess? I mean, playing these 2 cards gives you Ranging Hunt, and then with Ranging Hunt, you potentially... Ranging Hunt. Very good. Very good. I guess you're Ranging Hunt over here, though. But I think you do major then. Okay. Those are options. Here's where Seamus would say, oh, sweep into the sea. Ocean loves sweep into the sea. It certainly would, like, take all these explorers closer to the coast, which is cool. Or, you know, takes these guys closer to the coast, just keeps the inland visible, or not visible, rather. Are there other options? We actually hit the threshold on Winds of Rust. The powers I'm playing this turn, I actually hit the threshold on Winds of Rust. That's amazing. That is amazing. You'll love to see it. Some of the problems with that, you need a sacred site, but that's not really a big issue. And furthermore, we don't really need to defend, do we? I guess actually that would solve this, wouldn't it? And I could do it here instead of using Ocean thing. Yeah, that's pretty lackluster. Winds of Rust, though. 1 fear and defend 6, basically. Plus, I don't think I have enough Sacred Site set up for that. I can set up Sacred Sites with Ranging Hunt, but I don't think that I can get a Sacred Site that's at range 3 from both that would actually, like, also do something effective. Like, are these adjacent? That's not a corner. It's very close to being a corner, but it's not a corner. I don't know, it should be a corner though, right? It's like the center of the board. But like, this looks like it's not a corner. They're not actually adjacent, right? So otherwise, I mean, it doesn't matter because it's still not like I guess like you could situate yourself somewhere closer to the middle, but like if I put my Sacred Site in East 9, then I have range 3 from both. But I think though that that's just not worth it. Is it worth taking Winds of Rust, given that I'm actually hitting the threshold on it? I'm not hitting the threshold on sweep. Pretty sure I'm just taking Winds of Rust. Actually, before I commit to that, though. Before I commit to that, let's see what the other people do. Is River taking a power? River is probably reclaiming Blazing Renewal. Maybe. Maybe. It's probably about high time that River actually just gets regular River innates, because the main problem with doing Blazing Renewal is that I'd have to get to 5 energy to accomplish it, so I'd have to do these 2 growth options, or the middle double presence placement, and then I'm playing Blazing Renewal and Boon of Vigor and River's Bounty, which means I don't actually, I get this base level innate, but I think we need to start like getting hyper innates. Hyper innates can clear out lands with explorers better than Blazing Renewal. I think it's okay if I do it like this turn at least, because we don't need the Blazing Renewal this turn. Next turn it could be better to clean out some of the coastal sands over there. I think it's okay to just get Hyper Innate here this turn and focus on cleaning some of these nasty places with all these explorers that could potentially build 7 towns. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of potential builds this turn as well. But if I do, like if I were to play Flash Floods, which I couldn't do if I do Blazing Renewal, I can stop the build in Must 3, which stops 2 towns. There's also something to be said about doing a ping to a city in some place so I can damage it or kill it with Hyper Innate. I can also just get the 5 card plays and then go on Reclaim Loop. Maybe. Is that wise? I mean, I guess if I'm doing double presence, I'm not actually getting to 5 energy if I also take off card plays, so I guess I do get to 5 energy. And then we go to the races. What cards do you have to look at here? Could we fit a Call to Isolation in there? Probably. Your other cards all have water on them. Would Call to Isolation help anywhere? Call to Isolation on West 5, but that's better defended. Nature's Resilience doesn't really do much. I guess I could just take Blazing Renewal and have it, but I don't know. But you're not getting a power then, is what's happening there, I'm pretty sure. What do you want right here? Entrancing Apparitions potentially helps a little bit this turn. A little bit. Just a smidgen. If I can do Entrancing Apparitions into West 1 and take out the town fast, that would be ideal. I mean, there is something we said about Terrifying Nightmares as well. I could Terrifying Nightmares in West 2, and that stops that build entirely. At the very least, Entrancing Apparitions does stop West 4. And I can target, well, inlands, which I don't want to hit because events could do bad things. But your reclaiming was the decision here, or am I doing something else? I don't know what I'm doing now. Yeah, I guess we were asking a question, can I do something with the town fast? Elusive Ambushes actually deals with West 5, doesn't it? Also doesn't do anything with the town fast. Lure of the Unknown gathers the town fast. Yeah, and then I can do... Okay. Yeah, so Bringer is definitely reclaiming them. Well, reclaim one, rather. You get an any. You don't get to play Unrelenting Growth, though. Do I focus on elements with you? I mean, that gives us your innates. Do I have extra elements for that? No. It does give us 3 moons, which means someone gets an extra element that they would want. Alright. I'm still undecided here. I think I do Winds of Rust because it does deal with Northeast 3. And then what do I ditch? Terrifying Chase works really well with Ocean, but I guess it's too much setup for me to figure out. So you need a sacred site or otherwise to create a sacred site after you're done doing things. Like, it's tempting to want to do like super ranging hunt in Northeast 8 by converting a beast into a presence, or presence into a beast rather, but then I don't have that sacred site. You also get to do Winds of Rest next turn, which is cool. So like these lands are going to be pretty well defended next turn, at least if I have a Sacred Site in Northwest 4 for next turn, which I can do next turn. This turn Northeast 3 is the priority. I don't know. Where do I want to convert something? I'm looking more for the secondary effect, I guess. Convert the city to a town. Okay, then I guess I do the Sacred Site then. Okay, so with four spirit games, my turns take like 4 times as long. But I do feel like we're doing well now. Ocean had a minor power we were looking at, I guess, that I forgot to consider. I'm just gonna take Infested Aquifers because that was the good elements. Gather into each ocean. I think I leave that presence there and I gather this one. Doing the cheaty thing because technically this coast is adjacent to this land, which is not, I think, true in the other games or other boards. Do you need a Sacred Site? You're not doing Indomitable Claim. Lands of the Right's Rejection. Does that do anything this turn? None of the sands have Dahan, so no. Unless we were to move Dahan fast, which I don't think we are. So I think I take this one. And we're gonna lure the town and explorers out, so I don't need to be in that land. So it's Lure of the Unknown. If I could drown I guess I could get an extra water from shadows, and then I do get to drown a city and a town, which can be useful in Northwest 1. To accomplish that, I'm gonna need to get 3 Earths. Pretty much. And it has to be all waters too. All water cards, 2 of them have Earth is what it has to be. What about Swell the Land Dwellers? Is that useful for this coming turn? Not really. East 5 is the scariest land this turn because it's building 4 towns. But I think we're mitigating most other things anyway. Does Call of the Deeps work? Call of the Deeps works in West 3, right? So we do Call of the Deeps. And now I have to play 2 Earth cards that have water on them. Are we in enough sands for Tidal Boon to make sense? Not really. Although River hasn't grown yet. River could just go into a sands to be targeted by Tidal Boon. What about Northwest 6? What's happening there? I guess it's going to be Winds of Rest. I'm sure there's gonna be a place for that. Oh, I can only play 3 cards. Oh. In which case, then I do have to do things correctly. Okay. For some reason I thought I had 4 card plays. So I don't get the Tidal Boon, so I don't stop one of the builds. But I can do City Drown and Town Drown in Northwest 1. It's building 2 towns, right? So I could then target the other town with Swallow Land Dwellers, and that land will be empty. Lure of the Unknown to take the town out of West 2. Entrancing Apparitions to take the 2 Explorers out of West 2 into West 1, so those 2 lands are now solved. We'll have a defend for that one from River. I think these are going to be handled with Winds of Rest. Possibly with the repeat by playing the same cards again. We do have to spend an energy to reclaim, but this only costs 4 energy. So we'll have enough energy to play it next turn. We're sort of dealing with that. It's not solved yet. Pretty sure that something's going to be like we're gonna have the Hyper River innate. It could just hit East 5, in which case that's solved. It seems like a pretty good place for that. We have a Tidal Boon that we haven't resolved yet. If I put River into West 3, then I could push a town out with Tidal Boon. And then it probably gets defended with Sands Defend or Coastal Defend. Seems acceptable. Okay, so Wash Away is mandatory. Because I can't afford Laser No. I could play Nature's Resilience, but we don't need the Defend this turn. Defend comes from Elusive Ambushes anyway. So I can only replace a water. I can only replace one of the other 4 cards with one of these cards if I so wanted. Is there anything that would be super effective for preventing builds or something? Like, I want this Ravage to happen. It doesn't need all the Dahan to be in there. So I could, like, use Call to Isolation to push a Dahan. It doesn't really mean, it doesn't do much. Like, I'm gonna just want Dahan in West 4. I think if I get that defended with Dahan, that'd be pretty good. So, like, Cold Isolation doesn't do anything for that. Doesn't get extra Dahan in there. The only other thing could be to try to get Dahan in El Ravaging Sands, but it's only pushing 1, so it's not even that helpful. So I'll just click Nature's Resilience in case I decide I don't want to reclaim next turn, because I do think we'll be using Nature's Resilience somewhere next turn, right? It's like over here abouts. Like, it's not immediately, like, I don't have range to there, but if I do, if I don't reclaim and I put a presence down, I get a Sacred Site over there, and that works. If I do this growth option, I at least play 3 cards next turn, which isn't terrible. Alright, that took a million years. Wow, I've been streaming for 3 hours. Didn't feel like I've been streaming for 3 hours. Before I do that, though, there's information we're going to reveal that we can't rewind from. So, possibly getting that fear card. We are generating fear. We're giving this to Ocean, right? There's no reason to give it to anyone else. I don't see why. Explore does not affect coastal lands. Lands with disease are not a source of invaders when exploring. Okay. So that'd be a pretty good time for a coastal explorer, right? Right? Alright, now we do the things. I just realized that I've been blocking Bringer this entire time, and now I realize why people are saying Bringer looks weird. It's because I'm Bringer. I just realized that like 3 hours later that I've been blocking Bringer this entire time. No one's really said anything about it. Is it okay if I go here? Probably okay. I think that's less blocking, right? I'm going to assume that's okay. I will say it's pretty annoying when no one says exactly what they mean by Bringer looks weird. They don't mean to say, oh, logic, you're blocking Bringer's spirit panel. They just make a joke about... Because I'm not looking at my screen. Like, I don't like looking at myself when I stream. So I, like, hide the OBS broadcast from view so I don't see what's going on. And so when people are tongue-in-cheek about Bringer looking weird, then I don't understand what they mean. I understand you're being funny. I understand it's a joke. It's all fine. I have Dread Apparitions. Why do I have Dread Apparitions? Because I decided I wanted Dread Apparitions. I guess I wanted elements for some reason when I didn't consider the fact that I have an any. Okay, whatever. Order. Is Bringer in any jungle? The answer is a resounding no. I mean, I might as well just target that land with it. Like, I can't really target it with any other effect, but since I'm already hitting it with elusive ambushes, I mean, it saves it from +1 damage or something. Still haven't resolved the Flash Floods quandary. I wonder if actually converting a town is better to minimize the towns on the board. Yeah. So all the ravages are dealt with now? Ranging hunt. Oh, I have to do the repeat on this first, right? Okay. I guess I'm gonna target this. But it does put another town on the board, but I guess I could target this and it's not a city. Which at least minimizes what we need to do. Inching hunt here. And leave the Dahan there, or beasts there. I mean, gather a Dahan if terror level is 2 or lower, gather a town. And the Ravage becomes a build instead. I just played that for elements. I don't think I want to do that for Ravage purposes. It'd be nice if I could target a Sands with it. Boon of Vigor on who? Probably Bringer. Bringer has the worst energy right now. Flash Floods where? Oh, I guess I was doing it here. Or, like, sort of here. I think I decided on that, and then I don't know. I think I decided I was going to do, like, Title Boon there, but that's still fine. Alright, so that's done. So where do I want Dahan to be? If it's not for Ravage. It's not here. Because those like, I don't want them to build a town there. I mean, there's so many Dahan over here, but they're not... Like, I can't move them into places where there's other things. I guess I just don't do this. I mean, I guess one thing I can do is just to take one from that Dahan army over there, so there's more Dahan on this board. It's a bit meh. Okay. We have an any still. Add blight to a land with or adjacent to buildings. Prevent this by destroying 2 presents. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. And now here's where it's probably better to destroy presence. Because it's going to already destroy 1 presence. Is destroying a 2nd presence better than putting a blade down? Probably not. We have 8 blight to work with. What's the rest of this? Choose a land with disease, 2 damage to invaders, 2 damage to Dahan. During Ravage, defend 1 per Dahan. Alright. Well, that stops that build, which was already prevented, but now I don't have to do other things. That's nice. That. Do we have any other damage for there? Unfortunately, no. The only other damage left is massive flooding. And the same is true of that. Explorer does not affect coastal lands. Lands with disease are not a source of invaders. I put a check mark there. I don't remember why I put a check mark there. Probably because I'm gonna Winds of Rust it next turn. Hey, Coastal Explorer, nice. It all worked perfectly. Alright, so if I do Predatory Nightmares on the town of West 4 to push it into West 3, and then Tidal Boon on West 3, that's pretty nice. I could also just wash away, but I don't know. There's a Predatory Nightmares that was originally going to take out 2 Explorers and has decided to go somewhere else instead. Alright, I'm pretty sure Massive Flooding just goes here. Should I have done this first? Is there a... No, this isn't the one that reacts to destroy, right? Okay. That's fine. Is there any other reasonable place for Predatory Nightmares? Only this land. I think even if I'm gonna wash away it anyway, this gives me 2 fear. I can only target a land with Invader, so I can't use it to just push Dahan anyway, so it's fine. We're always going to, like, drown city and town here. And then you're going to Soul Land Dwellers here. Okay. I presume we have defend for this. Also, I can safely say we're winning now. Yeah, I will admit to John that I'm winning, and John will say, well, you've been winning for the past 2 hours. I'm not the type of player to be like, I'm winning, therefore the rest of this doesn't matter. I treat every game as if it matters. Always be 100%. Always do important stuff. There's not really a good place for Reverse Bounty. What if it was actually better to leave it in West 4, because I could defend that. Like, I didn't need to do all the pushing there. Yeah. But then I have wash away for somewhere else, I guess. Okay. So what's a good wash away target? This one? If I do that, then it's just 1 explorer in there, 3 towns along the coast. It's still hit by Winds of Rust at least. It's not super effective. Can I reach that? No. So yeah, I guess it's gonna be this. Do I just push it into the mountain instead? I would rather it be coastal. We can just defend it. Or we can let the blight happen. I guess... Before I do that, I guess I could do wash away on like Northeast 3. Do we still have Call of the Deeps? We do. That prevents builds. Like if that blights, that's whatever, but we can prevent some of this coastal blighting, or coastal building. Oh. Not gather, push. Plus Ocean appreciates the 1.5 energy. Plus 2 energy isn't actually enough for Bringer to play their hand. Could just be Reclaim 1 again. It could be just gain a power card. Alright, so... There's a lot of, like, extra action crap. We have a lot of things that we can do. We do have an indomitable claim. We could just claim it to West 4 and that would be hilarious. So let's see. These are the lands that are blighting. These are the lands that are building. Some of them are overlapped. Destroying all the cities and towns will win the game. Is that what our next objective is? There's some towns over here that have been woefully neglected. Alright, well, Fangus is always reclaiming all, right? Yeah. And it's going to be a minor this turn. Call to Bloodshed. Cool. Enticing Splendor. Well, it's range 0. It doesn't target Ocean. Do you actually want to do double presence so you can do 5 card plays? Do you need to be in any particular lands this turn? I hazard to say no. So I think I would rather just you play 5 cards now. You have lots of energy. You should do stuff with that. You're reclaiming all, right? Yeah, you're gonna reclaim all. You're at 5 card plays with +4 energy per turn. You're very close to just being done. You could be in reclaim loop for a while. Those cards don't have water on them. Promises of protection, though. We almost have Sacred Site visibility to Northwest too. It'd be pretty nice to get Dahan in there. At the very least, we can get Dahan into... Oh, we can't reach Northeast 1. Bummer. And then Bringer. Does Vigor do anything? It pushes things out of lands with Dahan that I would rather leave in lands with Dahan. Unless there's a coastal build with Dahan, but I don't think that's the case. So it's probably Unrelenting Growth and Song of Sanctity, which costs 5 energy. But we can hit the threshold on that now, right? Not quite, because I don't have another sun or plant other than Vigor. But I could just give you a power card, and maybe that works. It has to be a free power. I'm okay taking that chance. Guess we could see what's in here. Are there any free power cards? Gift of Living Energy is free, and that's the only free card. But it would work, because I would just use my any on plant. Or no, actually, I don't even need the any. Gift of Living Energy is perfect. And if I miss, then I land among the stars. Gift of Living Energy, perfect. That was the easy decision. Now what? You should be in a land with invaders so that you can actually generate fear, although you're probably not hitting that threshold, but still you should be in a land with invaders. Range 1, right? Where does range 1 put us? Puts us in Northwest 2, sure. Yay! We have blight removal now. I also have no need for my any. It doesn't do anything, except I guess if I take a moon, I get a fear. Might be better to hold it for the event. Fangs. Probably just call the Bloodshed to combo it with River. Is there any reason to do Disorienting Landscape or Enticing Splendor? Enticing Splendor's range 0 is the annoying thing. I'll just take all the Bloodshed. We'll figure that one out. River. Sure, Promises of Protection. We'll figure out a place for that as well. It could just hit Northwest 6. No, you don't have range there. Yeah, that's extra annoying. You have range to Northeast 8? You do, right? Range 2? Could light up Blight and then also proceed to kill the things in there. Do we need Blazing Renewal for any reason? Blazing Renewal solves Northwest 6 without me having to do the thing. I guess I might not have enough energy to do what I want. Oh, I didn't want to hit that. I hit this and then I undo it this way. All right. So you still have to do a growth. It's kind of weird, but I can do this to kill Northeast 8. The problem, though, is then I'm, like, foregoing Northwest 2, but we have defend for that, don't we? We don't need the thing. We don't need the thing. I don't know what the thing is. I have too many cards. And then fire, animal. Wish I had plant. I mean, I definitely want plant. Guess I don't do the +1 damage and +1 fear. It's okay. Let's go here. You're doing this, right? You are in every ocean. Oh, I could have actually done that better, huh? I can still do it better. Actually, there isn't a land with Dahan that I can target along the coast. There. I could probably figure it out, though. Am I happy with those cards? Probably. I don't know. I'm just clicking on cards now. I guess I can't play that one. It's okay. We can do. We don't need the Dahan there. Cause I gotta play water cards. Water cards. Yeah. We have a play left here. Guess I do this. Solves that. Is there any other way of defending that? I don't really think so. I guess I could do... I guess I could defend it another way. Okay. I could do Grasping Tide there and then, like, I don't know. Indomitable Claim in Northwest too, which is hilarious. I mean, I'm just like clicking cards because I'm assuming that like most paths lead to victory here. Yeah, I still want the plant animal, or just plant actually. Do I have just a plant? This, does it do anything? No. I guess I can take a town out of there or something. It doesn't do anything now. I need a plant. Can I do that? I need to end up over here someday. I guess we have unrelenting growth. Yeah, and then I can do that. Okay. We're done? Energy to bringer. Flash flood stops a build. Elusive ambushes. Blazing renewal on whoever wants to be in there. I guess I could have actually defended this, huh? Or put Dahan in there and they die, city dies and then they don't build. It does forego my hyperinate. Do I need my hyperinate this turn? I would like my hyperinate just to keep working on this shit. I think it's fine. Well, I guess I still... Okay, I'd still prevent them, right? Get the Dahan there. Defend the coast. Claim there. Call of the Deeps. Oh, I didn't actually need... Oh. Right, I did flash floods in a bad spot. Because I didn't need to do that. Okay. Who's going here? Forgot who was going there. Who needs range there? I don't know. River. Okay, now there's no builds. Well, I guess this is building, but it doesn't matter. All right, now what am I flash flooding? Too far away for that guy. I guess I just do it on that guy. He deserves it. It's the wrong can. And each land with Sacred Site and Invaders either do 2 damage or destroy 1 presence from each spirit. So what Sacred Sites with Invaders do we have? We killed this guy with Flash Floods, so therefore we actually saved that. It looks like we have like 0 lands with sacred sites and invaders. I will guard myself. I will not pay any energy. There were no lands with sacred sites and invaders, but we already had 6 fire, so that was cool. Each spirit with at least 4 Dahong amongst its lands gain a minor power, fear. If invaders are present, move if not. This is where the choose for me button's kind of annoying because I don't know what beast we're looking at here. This one? I don't actually need to be in the jungle. We actually know what these 3 cards are. Who wants them more? River? Encompassing Ward is good on River. Doesn't really matter. And then I take Reaching Grasp at this point. I think the range will help. When each land with Dahan, defend 1 plus an additional defend 1 per Dahan. Okay. Is the game over yet? Mountains. To answer my question, no, the game's not over yet because we're doing the escalation here. So it goes there to prevent blights. It has to go here to prevent inner-land loss. It has to go here to prevent inner-land loss, and then here it can't go there, so it's one of these 2. Probably the one that's farthest away from the inner land, even though it doesn't have Dahan in it. Yeah, so the game does not seem to be over yet. I guess it was always going to be an escalation. What was the one it could have been instead? Wetlands. Wetlands probably would have been slightly better, but only slightly. I guess because these guys are terrible, it's slightly less good, but it's fine. Massive flooding on these guys, I would say, even though they have a disease. Am I far away from Terra level 3? Quite far, so we do have to deal with the towns. Frenzied Assault for 2 damage. Drown everything in there. Yeah, you're always drowning that. That's the only coastal land, right? Everything else on the coast is dead. So I have to somehow finagle these remaining towns. I have range there? I do. Is there a diseased mountain still? This one. Which is not really that ideal because I don't have damage anywhere else. So we have Pact of the Joint Hunt and Unrelenting Growth. I can grow someone somewhere. I can grow Ocean or River into Northeast 7 and then Pact works there. Northwest 5 doesn't have any Dahan in there, so it's probably not wise to put that down there in the end. And what am I doing here? That much remains unknown. I guess I'm using Blazing Renewal next turn to kill some of those towns, but it doesn't kill the explorers. This land is diseased, so it doesn't matter as much. Do I really not have a ping anywhere? I have a frenzied assault. I guess if I do, yeah, this is like the only, I can't reach it. It's range 0. Why? Why? Range 0! Range 0! There's no coastal mountains. Is there even like anywhere? Any coastal mountain wetlands that I'm in? I mean, there's no mountains. There's no coastal wetlands. All right, I'll put a disease here. All right, Northeast 0 is diseased. They're not ever building in the Northeast Ocean, I hate to say. Need to see it. I guess I could have done unrelenting growth, but there's no reason to, right? I just feel like it was better for that town to go there, so I actually do want to go back. I have an any that I could have gotten a moon for. Oh well. I think I said I was going to do that and then decided against it because I figured that the event was better than the one fear. How many fear are we away from winning? We're 30 fear away from winning. What if we just cascade instead? That's wrong, right? Yeah, that's wrong. I mean, it's only this land that, or this board that would be relevant. I guess if I do decide to cascade. It doesn't really have anywhere to go other than to this mountain. But if I don't put the town there, then as long as Sanctity, you don't have range 4 anyway. All right, cool. Fantastic. All my ideas are shoddy, apparently. I'm guessing Unrelenting Growth coupled with River's Bounty, coupled with Pact of the Joined Hunt. And that deals with that to an extent. I'm sure we can finagle with that. You have range to... Not that one? Oh. Then that was the wrong choice. At the very least, I can push the town out, so I don't worry about that build. Because like Call to Isolation pushes the town. So like, I'll just put a check mark there for Call to Isolation. If Ocean reclaims, we have Lure of the Unknown. So that's probably dealt with. Big question marks there. Can't actually get river into West 10. I'm pretty sure I just do massive flooding here. I do get a power card off this. You chose poorly. Oh, I found cards I can forget, I guess, or generate fear, I don't know. kind of want to kill the explorers. Because I can Blazing Renewal to kill the towns, but I don't know. Or I can call to isolation all of the things anyway. I'll just do this. Focus on destroying the towns. Optionally try to, Sure. Those are the only explorers left on the board, except for this one. It's pretty sad damage. I'm not gonna lie. Just, I don't have range there anymore. Jeez. Is it worth doing this just for 2 fear? 1 fear. I mean, I'll do it here. I'll put the disease there. Alright. France being France, there's only 3 towns left on the board. Surely we can, like, do it, right? Double play Winds of Atrophy. Sacred Site there, Winds of Atrophy. And then just kill this town somehow. Surely we can finagle that, right? Two damage, destroy all explorers. I can't see my cards. I have too many cards. Do I have 2 earth cards? Or 2 air cards? Just for fun? Resounding no. Do I actually have this now? Hey. The most important thing to do is blight removal. Okay. I don't know what you're doing. If I can get the town out of the coast, it can perhaps be hit by ranging hunt. Perhaps. Yeah. Not what I meant to click. That's okay. Insatiable hunger. And then the rest doesn't matter. Pretty sure. None of this matters. For some reason I clicked that. Okay, cool. Just do that. All right, we won. Whew. It took like 20 minutes to sort out the win at that point. All right. 4-hour, 4-player game. One for each hour. One for each player. I don't know where it's 65. If I had removed a blade, it wouldn't have mattered. But we got 8 points for the 35 surviving Dahan, which is impressive because we started with 24 Dahan. We gained 11 Dahan over the course of the game. Perhaps due to Slave Rebellion, perhaps due to River. Cool. Second wave. Well, if we had done second wave, the blight that was still on the card would be put onto the other side or something. I don't know. We did blight the island, so it wouldn't be France 4. But it wouldn't be guard the Owl's Heart. So for that being a negative difficulty game, it didn't seem... I mean, we were in a winning position for like 2 hours, but... it wasn't exactly trivial. I don't know. John would probably say it was trivial after the first hour. But there were definitely a lot of explorers in these parts that led to a lot of scary potential for builds that thankfully didn't come to fruition. Managed to make things get prevented easily. Had some nice synergy between the spirits there. River plus Ocean is always great synergy. I don't think we actually did much with River and Ocean, no. I don't think we did much washing away into the ocean except for that one turn. I think it was mainly... I think it was just Ocean that did it, mainly. Alright. Well, it's been 4 hours, so I think it's time to wrap things up. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed your stay. This was Logic Dolphin here for Spirit Island Saturdays, where we play Spirit Island on Saturday. We're here every Saturday to play Spirit Island. Go figure. Check out the other channels we have on the stream. Every Sunday at 6 p.m. is Tales from the Archive with another letdown. Every Monday at 7 p.m. is Dolphins Dive with yours truly. Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. is Handelabra Live with John. Every Friday at 4 p.m. is Luck with the Seamus with Seamus the Hug Monster. Handelabra products include Sentinels the Multiverse, Spot of the Ninth, Wendeck Dungeon, Aeon's End, and Spirit Island. They're all available on Steam, iOS, and Android devices. Follow us at twitch.tv/Handelabra Games for the live streams, or visit us on Facebook or YouTube at Handelabra. You can follow me personally at Logic Dolphin on Twitch, Twitter, Discord, YouTube, and pretty much any avenue. Thanks for watching. Have a good night, everyone. I'll see you later.